Access Consciousness with Rikka Zimmerman, the radio station that's dedicated to spreading the seeds of consciousness to change the world.
I love listening to this show. It's changed absolutely everything.
Unbelievable. I listened to 2 shows and got 3 checks in the mail immediately after.
I sent this to all my friends, and all of their worlds have changed exponentially.
Listening to Rikka's show every week reminds me that I'm the only one who can stop myself. She's helped me get out of my way. Rikka rocks!
Hello, everybody out there all over the world. Welcome to Access Consciousness with Rikka Zimmerman, live on the World Puja Network. I am so excited about today's show, setting your business up for mega success. What if you could have a business that literally was structured in such a way that it was infinitely successful? And it was quite easy to be that infinitely successful. This is going to be a very fun show. So I'd like to take a moment to introduce our studio panel for today. Iris, would you like to say hello?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Iris, and I'm over here in Munich, Europe, and I'm so excited to be on the show since I listened to Rikka for the first time a while ago on a show. I was reconnected with the awareness that I am an infinite being, and my entire life has shifted since then. And those, and the life of my clients and friends have as well, and I've inspired them to ask questions. And what has shown up for me now is a new exciting possibilities of starting my own business. So that's why it's so perfect, or beyond perfect, for me to be here today. And how did I get so lucky? And what contribution can we be and receive tonight that will shift, everything beyond what we imagined possible before that?
I love you. Exactly. That is awesome, Iris. Cool. Thank you for coming and playing with us today. How did we get so lucky? All right, Marjorie, would you like to say hi?
Oh, absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Marjorie. I'm in the U.S. in Chicago, just down the street from President Obama of America. And I am so blessed to be here because I listen to Rikka's The Embodiment all day, every day. As I'm sleeping, as I'm awake, my world is changing tremendously, and I am so grateful to Rikka and Access Consciousness and even the locals. Everybody here that's dealing with Access Consciousness is teaching me so much, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, Jimmy, would you like to say hello, too?
Hi, my name's Jimmy, and I live in Lake Forest, California. I've been following Rikka since November. I've become a bars practitioner. I've had a gift and exchange with 4 different people, and it just keeps growing and growing, and I'm getting better and better.
Awesome, Jimmy. Cool. Thank you for being here. All right, Darlene, would you like to say hello?
Absolutely. Hi, I am Darlene from New York City, and it is so awesome and amazing to be here. I have been doing Access now since November, like Jimmy, and it has just changed my life completely. I am going for my foundations and level 1 class soon, and my life has changed, and I'm so grateful and so happy. What else is possible? How do we get so lucky? Thank you, Rikka.
Oh, Darlene, how cool is that? All right. Faye, would you like to say hello, too?
I would love it. Hi. First of all, how did I get so lucky? I was introduced to Rikka's work about 8 months ago. I was listening to Healing with the Masters, and I played the replay call for my sons, and they both lit up to the work and said, let's order the CDs. So we've all been listening to the CDs since then. And my question at the time was, how do I get to work with Rikka personally? And here we are.
Faye, beautiful. How cool is that? Well, welcome. We're so glad you're here. All right, Cleo, would you like to say hello, too?
Hi, I'm Cleo. I'm really excited to be here. I'm in the countryside in Little Canaan, New York. The trees outside, and it's very peaceful right now, and I'm just very excited. And I feel like I'm ready to step into something bigger in terms of my businesses and my ideas and just who I am on the planet. Very excited. Woohoo! Okay.
Awesome, Cleo. Cool. All right. Chrissy, would you like to say hi?
Sure would. This is Chrissy from Rockland, Maine, and I want to say thank you to Rikka and to Casey for having guided me to Rikka today, my friend Casey, who's also on the show with us today. And I was guided by Spirit about a year ago to resign from a job that was no longer serving me because I recognized the light inside of me and that I needed to share more of myself with the world as an intuitive and as a channel. And I'm also inspired to open a spiritual retreat and wellness center here in Maine, and I'm hoping this is going to help me make the shift to do that.
Oh, wonderful, Chrissy. That's awesome. All right, Casey, would you like to say hello, too?
Hi, it's Casey in Toronto, and I'm elated to be here with everyone as well. I really love that once I started to ask what would it take for more fun to show up in my life, your series, Rikka, about business showed up, and I never thought that business could be fun. And now I do. I think that. So I'm just so excited to see how it gets even better. Thank you so much.
Aw, wonderful, Casey. Well, absolutely, right? How exciting. What would it take, and what would each of you all over the world have to shift about the way that you do business or the system in which you've created your business to function within for it to actually be completely and totally fun for you? Now, this is something that it generally takes people quite a while to actually make this shift, because there may be a lot of stuff that comes up in your world about all the reasons and justifications of why you can't have this, why you couldn't hire everybody to do everything that you don't actually desire to do, why there wouldn't be people that would be even better at doing what you do that you could hire, right? And there's all these buts that come up in people's worlds. And for me, I suffered from the buts for many years, too. But X, Y, and Z, but X, Y, and Z, but I don't have the money, or but I don't really know what I want, so I've got to do all this work myself so I can figure out what it is that how I'd like to structure it. Or I was basically a one-woman show for a long, long time. And, even in talking with Jennifer McLean, she's like, for about 5, years, I was also a one-woman show. Interesting, huh? So just because you can do everything doesn't mean you have to. And if you begin creating the business where everything that you actually don't desire to do is done for you, how much more excited are you about the business? And how much better of a relationship do you have with the business? And how much more creative and generative energy can you put into it when you're not the one that's doing everything that you don't actually want to do? Doesn't that make sense from a different light today than anything you've heard?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Cool, awesome. So one of the questions that would be awesome to start is, what are the 4 things that you could change about your business that would allow it to actually work for you? Because does it make sense that if you are doing things that you don't want to do in your business, you're actually going to resent the business? And you're going to resent your clients to some degree because you're like, oh, the client is here again that I'm charging too little money for. Or, you're just doing the shipment and fulfilling of a product. Well, if that's not fun for you, then every time somebody orders, you're like, oh, got another product to fulfill. So in that light, your business becomes this entity that you potentially treat like terribly. And then it's a bit tough for it to give to you and for you to give to it when the relationship sucks. So all of the sucky relationship that you've created with your business about doing everything you don't want to do, and it's hard work, and there's so much to do, and the doing never ends, and all the clients don't quite show up, and, the numbers never really work out, and you're always sort of in the red, everything that brings up, would you be willing to destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what's amazing, though, is just for a moment, outside of your life, your world, and business, like if you kind of take an overview position from your reality for just a moment and sort of look at it for just a minute, what if what's been going on in your business to create it as not being a mega success actually has to do with your receiving of you? How much you're actually willing to contribute to you and be contributed to, and what energy in your life you're willing to have. So it's almost like if you've designed your life and your reality in a way that you have problems, then does it make sense that in your business you'd create problems because it would actually validate your reality with you?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Yet when I look at my transformation into a mega successful business, and we're just going nuts, we just are continuously expanding. And it's so cool. It's so much fun. When I look at that, I look at my willingness to open up to me being a gift and a contribution, and my willingness to have my entire life be totally easy. My willingness to actually honor the time, the spaces that I have to honor myself and go hiking and go to yoga and that kind of stuff. And what's occurred is that type of choice is allowing the space business and for me and actually generating way more money than if I was constantly working hard. Isn't that weird? Yet the energy that you be with you is that it's the bridge for the business. It's the energetic foundation of an energy and generative energy that your business actually runs from.
And Rikka?
Yeah.
This is Iris. I have a question, and what that brought up for me when you talked about what we were willing to receive, that's definitely one aspect. But what I've noticed is that business idea of mine was basically born within one question. Like I asked one question, what would it take for me to get out of debt and, for this to happen faster than I could have possibly imagined. And within 2 weeks and one phone call later, I had a business opportunity that would provide me for a year with 3 times more money, with working less time, like only 3 days a week, and hang on. And then I felt like, I think part of me was like, ooh, I'm not allowed to have that, still like, it can't be that easy for me, and the people who will pay me from that company, they will earn less than I will, and so they'll hate me, and, so we already had that about the judgment, but I think that's still a big limitation. If we actually create stuff really easy and amazing, that we back off, like take a step back again. So what is it? What could we clear out there? So to one
Thank you for that. And
step
how
out of
cool,
that.
How cool is that, Iris? It's like in the willingness to actually open up and ask that question, right? And the willingness to be open enough to actually receive it. That is actually a gift to you and your life and the world. Okay, so will you acknowledge that you actually have that capacity?
Yes.
Okay. So, and with all of you, has there been times in your life and in your business where you have opened up and something has occurred?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So will you acknowledge that you do know how to receive?
Yes.
Yes.
So everything you're doing to think you don't know how to, or you're not good at it, or you don't know how to get there, would you be willing to destroy and create everything that brings up?
Yes.
Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. That is awesome. Cool. Okay, so the next piece is, as you're moving into having and receiving this, the 3 times the amount of income, okay, you've created your life as this energetic vibration, right? You've created you as this energetic vibration. As you bring in 3 times the amount of money, is there going to be a shift in your energetic vibration?
Yeah, and what happened is that I kind of blocked it, so they shifted the contract so it will have certain steps. First we do 20% of that, then we do another 20%. Because I said I took a step back from what is actually possible and available for me.
Yeah, and literally, what if what was coming up that you moved back from was just an old vibration that you put there?
Yeah.
Now, what if we didn't even have to create a story around it? Like, it was too much energy, or it was too good to be true, or, what if the story was just not even applicable? And what if what was coming up was truly just a vibration that you put there? Because that's what you defined yourself as. Okay, cool. Awesome. Now, what energy can you be and receive that would liquefy and dissolve that barrier and that reality and allow you to move into the mega success in business that you truly be?
Wow.
Everything that brings up times a godzillion. Would you be willing to destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. That was cool. That did something. Because how many of you have, gone into a success or receiving money or something and then backed away using guilt or using this is too much or using some kind of judgment, right? So what if in those moments you just went, whoa, 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 hold the presses. Okay, I know I might want to go to a lot of story around this, connect it with a lot of things, except what if this was just a vibration? And if this was just a vibration, can I literally choose to be a vibration that would dissolve all the stuck energy here and move me into something that is so much greater? Am I willing to do it no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, and no matter what it takes? Because as you move and quantum leap into this new life and this new future, this reality has really taught us about all kinds of stuff and ways to stop us. So everything from, you're going into fear now, or it's too much energy, or now you're going to overwhelm, or what if whatever came up, you just went, oh, interesting story, watch me be the energy that dissolves it. And isn't that cool? I love 2012. It's like, ooh, quantum style, let's do this thing. So one of the questions you can ask is, what energy can I be and receive that's true for me as a being that's beyond this?
Wow. Yeah.
Right? So you jump into that future energy and at the same time liquefy whatever reality was coming up. It's almost like instead of having your energetic barrier be a wall, you just kind of push the wall down, be aware of the energy that's true for you that's beyond this, hop over the now one step that's in front of you, just hop over it, and then dissolve the reality in your past and keep moving forward. So all of the reality that you have put into place in order to keep you from moving forward, in order to keep you from infinite being, in order to keep you from infinite receiving.
Small altogether.
Would you all be willing to destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, short, boys, and beyonds. Okay, this is awesome. Yay. All right, hold on, you guys. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back.
Hello, beautiful world Puja people. It's Kim in Aspen. Check out this excerpt from Rikka's brand new special offer for Jennifer McLean's Healing with the Masters.
Where you basically walk around as a walking, talking magic and miracle. Where everyone that you're around shifts into the God that they are, because that's what you know is true. What if it's time to stop pretending that you're the pawn in someone else's game? That you're the servant of someone else's reality? That you have created yourself as trying to fit into everybody else's reality that was way too small and way too limited for a being like you. How much have you had this feeling of being unsatisfied here, but trying to make yourself feel okay with the unsatisfaction? This reality, how many of you guys just know through every pore of your body and being, this reality doesn't work for you? Okay, does judgment ever give you any kind of expansion?
How does it get any better than that? And what else is possible? Would you like to know more about Rikka's special offer for Healing with the Masters? It's called Being the God of Your Reality instead of the servant of this reality. Check out Rikka's website at www.rikkazimmerman.com and scroll down to the bottom of the homepage. Click the link that says Free Teleseminars here and sign up for Healing with the Masters with Jennifer McLean and find out how you can be the God of your reality.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to being a mega success in business. How does it get any better? Now, what's really cool about what we're looking at and what we're addressing is it's the energetics behind what people use to keep themselves small. Okay? And what if, truly, your either success in mega business or mega success in business or the not success you've been creating, whatever it is, what if all of it had to do with all the choices that you've been making and the reality you've been holding in place? Because there's something else that people think of as far as like, oh, it's not in the cards, or it's not my fate or my destiny, or I'm just not good at it. What if that really wasn't true? Now, I've even heard people who have done a lot of consciousness work say, oh, I don't do that. I'm not very good at websites, or, you know, I don't know anything about this. Somebody else do that for me, and I don't know anything about it. And I'm like, do you know anything about consciousness? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, if you know energy, you know everything. Because check it out. Is all of everything all energy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what if there's no market, there's no economy, there's no, financial structure of reality? There's nothing that you can't be aware of if you're willing to be totally just aware of energy. So all the marketplaces that you've taken yourself out of in business, would you be willing to destroy and create all that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So the willingness to actually allow your life to expand. Interesting, right? So there was I had dinner with this, super billionaire, like does, $500 million deals and just generates so much money, right? So we're having dinner and I'm asking him a ton of questions and he's asking me a ton of questions because, I got consciousness and he's got so much money. I'm like, dude, what do you got? What's going on here, right? So we're trading questions. And I asked him at one point, I'm like, so how do you know what to actually invest in? And I see from his awareness in his world, because as you embody more consciousness, you can actually hear that kind of stuff, where you can just ask somebody a question and you get the whole readout, almost like you're reading a book now of how they function. It's very cool. So, and I got this awareness of him looking at people are the gateway to money. And I went, whoa, because I had always seen what stock do you invest in, as if look at the ticker symbol or look into the management or look into the full company. Well, what if it was more like look into the person who's the CEO, the gatekeeper? Because that CEO has the entire company functioning from their reality.
And his willingness to receive, right?
Yeah, so check this out. So what he has done is he looks at companies and then he flies to them, has a meeting with the gatekeeper or the CEO, the person in charge of like the whole ship, And they start talking about whatever, and this guy was basically saying, we made $500 million off of this particular project, and he goes, so what if you could have made $5 billion? And then he sees what the gatekeeper does with his question. Amazing, right? But if they go into, no, it's not possible, that's not somebody he wants to do business with. If they go into defending the $500 million that they made, that's not somebody he wants to do business with.
Wow.
If they go into fear of, oh my God, that's too much, that's somebody he wants to do business with. If they go into an overwhelm energy, that's not somebody he wants
do business with, because he actually knows that the people that are in charge of the business are the gatekeepers of how much money that business makes.
And how
is that amazing or
feel?
Wow.
What's that?
And how everyone else is going to feel, because if their initial feeling is overwhelming or fear or whatever, then the rest of the company is going to feel that if they try to take that on, right?
Yep.
As it trickles
totally.
down. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? So when he does that, he watches where they go. Now, if they go into, oh my God, how cool would that be? What do you know about that? He knows that's a player. Because he's willing to, one, receive, he's willing to, two, be in the question, and he doesn't have anything in the way of his expansion. He or she. It's cool.
Cool. Rikka, this is Casey, and this is making a lot of sense for me because I always kind of told myself I was shy and actually used to say a lot when I was younger that I'm not a people person. So what question could I ask to dissolve that?
Now, are you not a people person, or do you just prefer less insanity?
I really prefer less insanity.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the trick is, if you have no insanity yourself, like any judgments about you or that kind of stuff, then you can be around anybody else's judgments and it doesn't drive you insane because it has nothing to do with you. Now, what would it take for you to find other people's insanity as amusing and entertaining?
That would be nice.
So everything that you're doing to keep you from that, would you be willing to destroy and create it all?
Yes, absolutely.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so the other part about this mega success in business is the willingness to have the conscious overview position and not get stuck in the details. Okay, this is a big one. Because if you can have this conscious overview position, you can ask questions like, wow, what's one choice that we could make that would generate 100 times more income for us? Interesting, right?
Wow.
So when you ask questions like that, you might find, like for the business that I am in, it's like getting on, the Today Show or whatever that national television thing would be. That would be such a tsunami. It would be like Game Over. The world would be a different place from that moment on, which is really cool. It's like if I had 10 to 15 minutes with this entire world, it would be completely different. Mwah, ha, 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 right? And so, it's like we have been being pitched to the Today Show and all of these different shows, and they're like, yeah, and then it's kind of like April. Or, yeah, let's move this around. But media, in that sense, is kind of an interesting little monkey, So in that, we've instituted exactly what it would take to expand the business exponentially. At the same time as we're doing all the business that we're doing here, we're also looking at what's the one choice. Let's institute that choice so that comes to fruition, so that we're always looking at the big picture. And one of the things that you may want to do is for everything you do, add another zero onto whatever. So if it's like, wow, I'd really like to have 100 clients, look at what it would take to have 1,000.
Wow.
So if it's 100 people in class, look at what it would take to have 1,000 and start creating a business with that extra zero on it so that it can grow into the fullness of itself and that there's space to actually allow it to show up. Now, the thing about space for it to show up, if you have people in your company that aren't, where it's not set up to where it works to grow, it's not going to grow because there's stuck energy there. Like if you have, 5 people and they're all doing maintenance and they're all, when it all could be automated and they're working too hard and they don't want any more work, every time an email comes in, they start resisting it because they already have too much to do. What will end up occurring is you'll actually slow down and stop the business, and the universe will just provide what those people are willing to receive. Isn't that amazing? So even in that, if you look at all the roles in your business, what would it take for you to create these different roles where there's nobody stopping anything? either they don't have enough work, or say part of the event, is underneath this person's, awareness and jurisdiction, and then another part of the event is underneath other person's. So it would take two of them stopping to actually stop it. Weird, huh?
Interesting.
Yeah. Yet if you really look at everything, it's all about the energetics. Like, it's all about consciousness. If you actually allow yourself to have this kind of an awareness, what if you could create a mega successful business beyond anything you ever thought was possible? What were you going to say, Iris?
Yeah, could we maybe clear something around that we don't judge ourselves as crazy if we think, quote unquote, that big, if it's not even judged as big, if it's just a vision or just something that is possible? Because that what came up for me lately. That's what came up for me at times, and I think it does for other people or many people. Yeah. Something about around that area.
Well, there's a difference here, actually, and I'd like to take you even further beyond where it is you are. So if you look at what is possible, there's an energy to that. Wow, I wonder what's possible, and you may create some kind of vision of what it would be like to be it. Now, what's the difference between that and knowing where you're going? Do you feel the difference energetically?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know where I'm going.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
So isn't that awesome? Now, it's really, when you're in reality, you keep trying to put forth a picture to get there, or some kind of, well, I'll be this energy and then that'll get me there, or what it is. Yet, what if there's completely a difference between knowing where you're going and all of the ways in which you try, which means without succeeding, to bring it into existence? So all the ways in which you, quote unquote, try, which is attempting without succeeding to bring mega success in your business. All the trying to imagine it, all the trying to be certain energies to bring it in, all the trying to ask the right question, all of that. Would you be willing to just run and create it all times a godzillion and just know where you're going?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, that's cool. Because the thing is, I've done all that other stuff, and it hasn't worked.
And you're totally going beyond. Thank you for that. Actually, I'm a big fan of, what else is possible and how do you get the overview of or the underlying vibration that would dissolve all of this and make even room for even space for even beyond things to just show up. So this is really cool. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. So the other thing is, what if you set up your business and your life to actually be a mega success wherever it is at? Okay, so what does that look like? Okay, this is kind of interesting awareness, but it's like if I can sort of bring this into your world, it may end up changing everything about finances for you and everything about business. So the thing is, for me, when I look at $1 million or $1,000, it's like they're just numbers, right? So what if you first took on the awareness that, hey, between $1 million and $1,000, it's just numbers. It doesn't actually mean anything. They're just numbers. So would you allow it to just be numbers?
Yes.
Hey, Rikka, this is Chrissy. I've been kind of playing with that energy and actually have taped dollar bills to little pieces of paper that on the other side say, be the change you want to see in the world, and just dropping them in shopping carts and things like that. And looking at the difference and writing on the little slips of paper, what's the difference between $1 and $1 million? 6 zeros, which is just nothing. Nothing. And playing with the energy of the zeros, which is just, nothingness, spaciousness, and just playing with that energy.
Awesome.
It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Cool. And there's two ways people can go with that. They can either go into, everything's just an illusion and don't even play with it, or you can go into, money is just a reality to move into my account. It's just like, just shift into reality. Here you go. and you actually create it in reality. So what I'm looking at is how we get you guys to actually create it in reality and to build the wealth and the mega successful business in reality, right? We kind of went through some of the energetic pieces in the beginning of the show, and now I'm looking at, okay, let's institute it, right? Because it's like, first off, there's been people who I've talked to who are like, oh, I really want to be a singer. And I'm like, cool, where do you play? And they're like, I don't. I'm like, okay, do you get that nobody can find you? Nobody can even bring you possibilities. No matter how many questions you ask, if they don't hear you singing, how's that going to work? So you have to be willing to institute. Okay, so everything that you truly desire to be or to have or to make money from that you're not actually choosing, would you be willing to destroy and create all of that and choose it?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, meons. And people have this idea of, oh, well, I wasn't chosen. Well, were you not chosen or were you not choosing? When you're choosing and you know where you're going, you're having it and you're getting there. It's just a matter of lining up all the different things in reality. Because even if you look at Willie Nelson or, whoever, it's like Bob Dylan or, some of the voices that are a little whack, right? They're a little whack for themselves, which makes them amazing. So it's the same in everything. It's like you're completely and totally unique. When you show up as you, everything works. Okay? And so would you put yourself back in every field that you'd actually like to be in and not make anything impossible or off limits for you or your business?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Fantastic. Cool. Okay, so if we look at building this mega success in business that you truly be in reality, the first piece is sort of looking at, okay, what if there's no difference between 1 million and 1,000? So then what structure for money and investment would you create if you were basically pie charting $1 million, except it happens to be 1,000, right? So if you had tons and tons and tons of money, what would your investment strategy be? Like what feels light for you as far as the ownership of, gold, silver, platinum, or the 10% accounts, or the amount of money that you have in jewelry, or the amount of money you have in stocks, or, and how would you set up not only your financial life in your world, how would you also set up your business financial life? Because if you pour a foundation of having underneath everything and then just keep contributing to the having, then what if you could literally continue moving into a greater and greater expression of the wealth and mega success that you have and could be in business? Now, the other thing I look at in business is supporting what it is that's moving forward, right? So sometimes what people do is they do this thing where they fish out in the universe of, let me think of an idea that will make me tons of money. Okay, that's really cool. And then I have also met people who, put like their life savings into creating it. But they put their life savings into creating it before they even put it in the market for even around friends to find out whether people would buy it. Does that make sense? So what if you test marketed everything and ask people questions? Like if you've got an idea, run around your life, talk to, 300 people in the field of who would buy it and say, hey, I'm thinking about creating this. If I created this, would you pay for it? And their tag on whether they would or whether they wouldn't. Yeah.
Hey, Rikka, it's Faye. That brings up some energy for me. I've done that in my healing practice and gotten great feedback, and clients start using whatever the modality is, the massage, the amethyst biomat, whatever it is, and everything's going really great. And then it's like a wall comes up and it all just dries up. And then I feel like I'm back to square one saying, okay, what happened?
Okay, so my first question is, are you doing the 10%?
I'm sorry?
Are you putting 10% of everything that comes into your world in an account for you and doing one for your business? Okay, so that would be the first thing. Because when that exists, nothing ever dries up.
Okay.
Because the thing is, you're having the energy of having, which means your business has a having account, you have a having account, and you create a different relationship with money, which creates a foundation of energetic contribution where there's never anything that stops. It just continues to move forward. And the thing is that as you move in different directions, like biomat or whatever, and it starts to not sell, you just add to your business or change something in your business that feels lighter and move in that direction, and then that sells, and then you move in that direction and that sells, and then so you'd be able to put up your sales and move, in a different direction to keep continuously generating money.
Got it.
Got it? Okay, so everything that brings, all of the not having that you've created in your life and all the reasons and justifications for all of it, I've done it all from like, when I have the money, I'll do 10%. It doesn't actually work that way. You've got to be willing to do it no matter what. And when I finally made the commitment to do it blindly and to never not do it, everything changed. Even though it felt weird, retarded, and I didn't know how it was going to work and all that stuff, I just continued to do it. So would you be willing to put a blindfold on and just do it?
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, Fox, shorts, boys, and beyond. Okay, the other thing is, as you get more aware about what it takes for your business to run, what if you also created a system that actually allowed your business to function and grow, and no matter what you created, your bare minimum was total success? Like your kind of baseline for the business sort of functioning and making money was let me explain this. Okay, so I'll explain this in my business. So for me, the 50 people in each event is our baseline. If we have 50 people in each event, the business runs, which means everybody gets paid. The way I do it, too, is the money comes into my business. I take 10% of it, put it in the business account, and then I take 10% of it, put it in my personal account, personal 10% having account. And then there's 15% for taxes so that we don't ever have to do the tax scramble, right? And then the money comes into the business. We pay all the expenses. And from that moment, we take whatever the profit is, 20% of it to the people that play in the company, and 80% basically goes to me, that profit amount. So now you know the structure of how the money flows through the business. So with the 10% that goes in the business and the 10% that goes in my account and the 15% that goes into taxes and the 50 people events. Now, the 50 people events actually creates me having 20% of everything I do. So even if we do the bare minimum of 50 people at events, I'm still collecting or, maintaining or being contributed to, and so is the business. Cool, right? So what if you structured your business for success? So your bare minimum at 50 people per event or however many clients or whatever actually generated 10% in your account, the 10% in the business account, the tax money, and whatever else, right? So you create an image and a structure and the way that you function to actually be a success right off the bat. Cool, huh?
Do you only have 15% taxes in the U.S.?
Well, you end up, there's so many expenses when it comes to business, too.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
When I pull the 15% right off the bat, it's like I may pay more in taxes, but that's more on profit because all the employee expenses and everything goes out. So the percentage actually gets greater as you look at the ratio of that to the actual profit.
Yeah, and that's really cool because basically you're contributing with taxes to your own business. That's what I became aware of today, as when you have tax-deductible expenses, quote-unquote, investments, then you contribute to yourself instead of to the country or whatever that is. So that's kind of cool. Okay, thank you. I just wondered.
You're welcome. And, with the everything that we're creating, it's like looking at how do we create the back end too, to where we can actually handle 1 million people, or we can handle 1,000 people at events and move to that next zero, which would be 10,000. So in that awareness, we're always looking at what can we institute that would automate everything, what can we create that would make everything easy, who else is out there that's throwing events of 1,000 to 10,000 people, and what system did they have? Cool, huh? So everything that also doesn't allow you to some research in your field and find out how to make everything run easily, super efficiently, super magically, would you be willing to destroy and cradle that?
Yes.
Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, this is another really, really awesome question. Now, when I looked at the billionaire and he's gave me this awareness of people are the ones that carry money, what if people are always the ones that carry money? Money isn't just going to walk into your account. People are going to bring it to you. So how many people are you willing to receive money from? Interesting. Do you feel all that energy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is that?
Judgment stuff.
Judgment and stuff. The scientific term is stuff. Okay, good. Okay, so everything that brings up, you'd be willing to destroy and create it all.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. It's the truth. How many people are you willing to receive money from?
Everyone.
7 billion.
What was that, Jimmy?
7 billion.
7 billion?
Ooh.
7.2 billion.
if you look at that, have you set up a system where 7.2 billion people could actually contribute to you?
Not yet.
Wow.
See what I mean? So it's like there's part of it that's this energetic piece, and then there's the other part that's the reality piece. So what if you could actually institute the reality that would allow all the bridges for money to walk into your account at the same time as being all of the energy that actually allows it? Okay. Now, the thing about people and money, the truth, how many people are you willing to receive money from? It's almost like what came up was all these people have too much judgments and are too messy and are just doing weird stuff and right? Yet if you didn't have any judgment of you, if you were aware of their judgments of them, but they literally had no effect in your system. And you just went, yep, come on in, put the money there, come on in, put the money there, come on in, put the money there.
Yes.
Okay? All the judgments that you have of your clients, of the people you do business with, okay, everything that brings up times a godzillion, would you be willing to destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Wow. Rikka?
Yeah?
As we are about, actually in reality, putting it into reality, may I ask another question about what's a lock for me? And that is, lately there was one project where I sent an offer out and the guy wanted to do it, and then the board decided to not invest in that area. Whatever. I'm sure I killed it on some level, Anyways, now I feel kind of painful about receiving emails or letters or phone calls because I created some resentment there, and that's probably not the best state you could be in to, have people call you for, requests or getting emails to actually tell you that they request, the services and want to hire me or something. So I wonder how many people have that about, past rejections or where something didn't work out. And could we clear out something around that for the practicality of it,
Now check this out. First off, what if that thing not working had nothing to do with you?
Oh, okay. That feels surprisingly light. Yeah,
do you see how you had yourself assigned to it was your fault? I'm sure I did something. Which means how much judgment do you actually do of you on a daily basis, but you do it under the spiritual guidelines where you feel like it's not judgment?
Yeah, I feel like I know that I am a big creator. That's kind of,
Okay. So everything you guys have blamed yourself for, which is all judgment.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find how you're the fault so that you can undo this, so that you can change this, when really, what if those people chose it? You got to be willing to see what is, right? Because if you don't, you're always going to think it's your fault, when it's not. It's actually not anybody's fault. There is no fault. Fault doesn't even exist in consciousness. Everything that brings up times a godzillion, would you be willing to destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, meons. And I totally get the whole thing of fun, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're going to reject me, I'll reject you back. So you have to be willing to be in the face of any kind of rejection and know where you're going, right? It's like, because the thing is, when that occurs, when somebody says no to me, I go, cool, I'll see you when I see you, because I know at some point you're going to choose it.
Yeah, and you know what? I sent actually an email, and it felt so good because I didn't feel bad at all at first. That only came later, kind of, you know, sometime later when the judgment restarted.
You got to be willing to not play with that stuff, right? Distract yourself with anything. Choose to go for a bike ride, whatever it is, okay? You know when you're playing with fire, and the other thing is, if you don't create a point of view about you're playing with fire or a story around it, you could go through anything. If you don't hold on to it, it's not going to limit you. If you hold on to it, that's where it limits you. So all the reality you guys are holding on to about business, money, and finance that's keeping you and your business for being a mega success, would you be willing to destroy and then create all that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, you guys, we only have a few more minutes, so I'm gonna wrap this baby up in a nice bow. Okay, so we talked about creating the system that would actually allow your business to move into mega success, okay? So if your business was a billion-dollar business, how would you create it? How would it function? What would be the percentages of, you know, how you would kind of pie chart expenses and what went on, and how would you create it, and then how can you actually institute that into being? Okay. Do you feel already there's a bit of energy that's actually coming up already in your worlds? So is it coming up that it's too much work, or that you just can't look at that right now because you're too busy and there's just too much to do, or what is that energy?
Too much to do, or could end up being too much work, too much effort, whatever.
Okay, so this is again where the minutia of reality has you seduced into doing instead of being.
Yeah.
So everywhere in your business you've been seduced into doing instead of being. Would you all be willing to destroy and create all that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, meons. Because for me, I look at how can I live here all the time? Like, I just choose to live there, and then anything I can ever get anyone else to do, I do. If it's something that I actually have to do because my voice has to be on it, my awareness has to be on it, that's the stuff that I actually choose. Yet anything I can ever give away, I will. Okay.
Christy, and
want to bring that into being.
I'm new to this access consciousness and to sharing with you on this level. But what it brought up for me was that I'm an energetic bridge to receiving what I need to shift and to transform my life and my business into the mega success that I want it to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So bringing up such great things. So thank you for that.
Cool.
For
You're welcome.
making me realize that I'm an energetic bridge to receiving everything that I need, and that feels so good.
Okay, so everything that doesn't allow all of you to be this generative, energetic bridge that's actually the receiving of all things. Constantly in the question. Constantly looking at, cool, and what else is possible? With the space of having and going on the adventure of how this magical, miraculous universe is going to deliver whatever it is you're asking for, because you know where you're going. Everything that doesn't allow that for all of you, would you be willing to destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. There we go. So setting up the system in the way in which your business would function if it was $1 million or $1 billion business. How would this function? Okay, and starting to look at if this business I'm creating was also making millions or billions of dollars, what would the face of the business look like? What would the logo, what would the website, what would the back end, what would all that, and beginning to institute the foundation that can actually allow your business to grow. Now, if you're in the beginning stages of your business, you want to look at testing out the things that you're creating to make sure that it's a yes for people, right? And then supporting all the yeses and then looking at how else you can support all the yeses and then continuing looking at how you can contribute and support everything that's a yes. Everything that's bringing in money, I always look at how I can contribute energy to what's already working. If I'm looking at building something new or introducing something new, I introduce a splash, throw it out there, and see how many people would like to participate in it. Interesting, huh? So I don't go jumping into full projects until I've actually tested energetically what the market is going to say yes to, what they're ready for, what they're all about, what they'd actually put money on the table for. Cool, huh? So in the creating of that foundation and that system, what you want to look at is what system of receiving money would a millionaire or billionaire actually create. So, and for all of you, I would highly recommend doing the 10% for your business and the 10% for you. And no matter what, always take that 20% off, okay? And then look at taxes too, because as you're, moving into a greater success in business, you're going to have a lot more taxes. And that's cool, right? Because how did I get so lucky to pay $1 million in taxes? That means I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Yeah. Exactly. And how fun. So don't resist any of that stuff. If you resist it, do you see how it's going to stick the energy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Celebrate the taxes you pay.
Yeah, that's my new awareness, that part of it goes into my business now, because, with stuff that is actually expenses for the business that I pay instead of paying taxes to some politician. I totally enjoy that now. That was a new awareness.
Yeah. So, and celebrate everything that you're, paying for in your business, and celebrate every client that shows up. Celebrate everybody that buys packages. It's like when we do an event and we look at, oh, cool, this is how much the event brought in. We do a celebratory dance. We're like, celebrate good times, go on. And we're like dancing.
I love it.
Right? So, and as, like, I have the person who does the 10% and the business and the money and watches all that stuff full time because I can't. I have way too much going on. So as she watches it, every time she does the 10%, she texts me and says, hey, here it is, celebrate it. So I energetically communicate with the accounts. I just don't do any of the work. See what I mean? So everything that doesn't allow you guys to begin seeing your business, your life, and your finances from this overview position, okay, and starting to institute, hey, what's one choice I could make here that would actually bring my business into complete and total mega success? Everything that doesn't allow you to ask that question and then act on it, would you be willing to destroy it and create it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because even if you make the choice for it and put it into action in a way that's like, there was at one point I did the Oprah show, the audition for the Oprah show. Now, why did I do that? Did I do it to get a show? Or did I just do it because it felt light? I just did it because it felt light. Yeah. I didn't have any investment in actually getting a show. Now, what that created was a bunch of movie stuff in other directions and a whole bunch of people that have watched it and gone, oh, my gosh, she is going to have a show sometime. And I know that I will, so it's really not a problem. See what I mean? It's kind of wild, isn't it? So if you create the actions towards your phenomenal future, people will begin to judge it into existence. So everything that doesn't allow you to create all the action steps forward to judge the future phenomenal business and mega success that you truly be into existence, and nice, would you all be willing to destroy and create everything that brings up times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. All right, you guys, that's all the time we have for today. What an incredible show. Thank you all so much for joining us here on Access Consciousness with Rikka Zimmerman. And, hey, feel free to send this out. It's like, how many people in your world would love to hear some of this information, right? How did we all get so lucky? Oh, boy. And I'm excited to see you guys on the playground at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for your live stream. So if you haven't tapped into that, just go to rikkasplayground.com, and you can sign in as a subscriber. It's actually just $20 a month, and you get 4 45-minute transmissions, and you also get a huge library of amazing classes and information. So it's quite an investment for $20 a month, and it will provide so much information. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the playground. Thank you all for you. Thank you for the change you're creating in the world.